Hello everybody, this is topic 2.6 and we are going to talk about barriers to achieving sustainable buildings. Selecting the green option is not an instant process. It always takes time and effort to sort out many issues before you can realize the benefits. The utmost concern is, generally, the cost of implementing new or green options which can produce sustainability in the construction sector. There are other barriers or constraints including pre-construction, managerial, legislative, and financial and planning stages. The barriers and concerns may show differences from company to company, even if it is likely to have some additional concerns in the variety of cultures, national economies, and geographical situations. Challenges to adopting sustainable construction at the construction company level could be divided into four broad categories. Financial matters comes first, and it is followed by acceptance, knowledge, and legislative barriers. So, at the company level, I am going to define now the barriers into four categories. And the first category is direct and indirect costs. Direct costs are the most recognized barrier since many professionals consider the additional upfront cost as a burden. It is also possible to have indirect considerations of additional cost and time requirements for a more demanding design and construction processes for sustainable design concepts. The second barrier is acceptance by the construction team and building owners. There could be some limitations and outcomes to achieving sustainability successfully. For example, the sustainable building concept offers to use a secondary material or secondary materials, which means that they have been used before, recycled after that, and they are sold for reuse in construction market. The owners and the designers must accept the limitations of possible outcomes. So my experience is that they are always complaining that the customers do not like to use secondary materials and they prefer virgin materials. The owners and designers, as a result, may like to use virgin materials instead of secondary ones. In case of having a lack of consensus between the partners, it puts a significant barrier to achievement of sustainable construction. There is a consensus in the literature and market reports that construction professionals may also lack of awareness about sustainable products and solutions. This is the third concern. It might be linked to the lack of consistent and credible information flow, not just the knowledge itself, but also the inavailability to share the knowledge. It is required to have internal training programs and communications through clear documentation. And the last barrier is legislation and incentives. Governments and decision makers should provide sounding approaches to the construction community in their pursuit to help business innovation or to perform their businesses innovatively by putting sustainability into practice. The legislation is required to design and accelerate the implementation of the strategies by supporting companies during their sustainable production. For example, France's Key Energy and Environmental Regulatory Enforcement was established in 2020. It enforces companies to explicitly assess their products, which will detail their health and environmental performance by incentivizing companies to enhance their environmental product declarations. So there are many other countries, they are also enforcing the sector to use sustainable options in their production and construction lines.